Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Zachary Hart. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 things that you should know while getting into Turo. One of the biggest things that we run into is cars being trashed or damaged. It happens, people have mistakes, stuff happens. Getting into it, you really have to prepare yourself to be ready for when that does happen. Whether that be having a detailing crew ready to go. A lot of the common issues we find is we'll have vehicles that are filthy, covered in random fluids and stuff. And you really have to do your due diligence to take photos before every trip showing, proof that each one of these cars is in good condition before it's rented out. And then you can show proof when the car comes in of, hey, this is the damage that was done. Here's the exact before and after photos of what happened. And that'll prepare you for, getting your claims in, making sure you get every dollar for, the damage that were done to your car. Ways to save money with it is really going to be having good detailing, knowing the best way to deal with each individual situation, like smoking in cars. We get that all the time. Like, it's super frustrating, but we found, there's you can replace the cabin air filter. Sometimes we'll put little smelly things in it to, make sure that scent, gets washed away. Another thing we do is, there's these scent bombs that, completely get rid of all the smoke odor, at least as best as possible. You have to leave it overnight with it in there, and that gets rid of most of it. And damages, you really have to be diligent about taking those photos before, as I said earlier, so that you can look back and be like, hey, there might be a little scratch here, and you're able to charge a customer then, because you don't want these cars to be dinged up and that you have to pay for it at the end of the day. The more photos you take, the better it's going to go down, or the better it's going to be when you actually go to report these claims and try to get money back for these damages. The second thing you really have to look out for is mileage. The higher the miles a car are, the more problems you're going to have. With anything in life, the more you use it, the more stuff's going to go awry. So being aware of exactly how many miles are being put on your vehicle is really going to help you to figure out, what your costs look like, what the depreciation is going to look like, and all these things are going to help you run the business as best as possible. The third thing you really got to be aware of is depreciation. We see a lot of people that aren't taking this into consideration. They're buying luxury vehicles that, are able to bring in a whole lot of money a month. But with the amount of miles, these cars are just getting destroyed in value, which that's going to hurt you at the end of the day. You really have to be aware of, where in the market they are, how the miles affect the depreciation. These are all things you have to take into consideration to really look at how much profit you're going to make, your exit strategy when you do plan on selling these cars. Before buying a vehicle, you have to look at how that vehicle depreciates, in the market that you're in. Certain vehicles are going to depreciate a lot quicker than others. For example, Toyota, those are one of the strongest values. They're able to maintain their values throughout a good amount of time. So if you get into certain manufacturers and brands, it's going to help you to limit the amount of depreciation that you're going to see. The fourth thing you really got to watch out for is maintenance. Maintenance cost is going to be one of your overall largest costs while running the Turo account. Certain vehicles have a lot higher cost day to day, with whether it be an oil change or brakes, suspension. All these things have a huge impact on how much money you're going to make at the end of the day. For example, we like cutting costs by doing our own oil changes. It takes 15-20 minutes out of your day, save you $40-50 every car, and that adds up super quick with how many miles are being put on the car and how frequently you have to do these oil changes. Having a good, reliable neighborhood mechanic, that's also going to save you money. Building that relationship and being able to bring him cars, knowing that you're not going to get screwed over every time you go in there, is going to save you a lot of money as well as stress. These maintenance costs add up so quickly that you really have to be aware of and are tracking each individual car and the maintenance that goes behind it. The fifth thing you really have to know is illegal activity. We've had stuff from cars getting impounded, high-speed chases, cars being used to sneak illegal immigrants. All these things you have to be aware of and be prepared to handle when it does go down. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you learned a little bit from us today. Hope to see you again soon.